welcome back to the kitchen with Kitty Chaos. I am so excited about today's meal. It is going to be pot roast with some potatoes and carrots and onions in the Ninja, of course, and surprisingly in 30 minutes. So I saw this recipe online with the salted pepper, and all the recipes I've tried with her have been quick, easy, and delicious. So I'm really excited to try this one out. So I got my pot roast already cut up here. This is the technique to get it done in 30 minutes, is to get it cut into these pieces. So it's like I tried to do 4 inches. Some of them are a little smaller than 4 inches, and that's okay. I didn't shave any of the fat off. That's going to be good for cooking. I've already started my sear saute in the Ninja, and my 1/4 cup of olive oil is in there heating up. So we're gonna put it in. We're going to brown it on all sides, and then we'll put it under pressure. So that's what we're going to do today. I already mixed my flour, so it's a 1/2 cup of flour. Some of the seasonings that I used was onion powder. That was 1 teaspoon. Garlic powder, because I love garlic powder. You know that. And then I used this Himalayan pink salt, black pepper, and garlic blend. And I did 2 teaspoons of this one because it called for 2 teaspoons of sea salt. But instead of using sea salt, I'm going to use the Himalayan sauce. So hopefully it doesn't throw the recipe off too much. And because there's black pepper in there, I only added a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper just because I didn't want to miss that aspect. 1 teaspoon of basil leaves. And then this was a different one I've never heard of. So it was a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red bell peppers. So that is going to be interesting to see how that comes out. So I mixed that all into my flour, and I'm going to go ahead and coat my pieces in the flour on all sides, all parts of it, because we are going to sear it on all sides to brown it. I'm used to making my pot roast in the oven. So this is my first time doing it in the Ninja. I have done it in the crock pot. It came out pretty good, but I'm still trying to perfect it so that it is falling apart, like when you can barely take it out of the pot because it's just so good and just falling into pieces. So hopefully my recipe comes out the same way that I saw online, and my pieces are falling apart. So I have this all coated on all sides. I'm just going to stick it in here. I did hear the sizzle, so it's hot and ready. You do want to make sure that your pot is on high, and you want to make sure that it is hot. Not where it's smoking hot. The oil shouldn't be smoking hot, but hot enough so that you do get a good sear on all sides. This didn't take long to get the pieces cut up, and really didn't take long for my Ninja to warm up to heat either, so that's a bonus. We are going to put it under pressure with some beef broth. And then I'm going to do 2 cups of beef broth, and I'm going to do 1 cup of red dry wine. So I chose to use this Dark Horse. I've never tried it before. I've never drank it before. Actually, I typically don't drink red wine, so this is going to be a taste tester for that as well. And I'm setting these pieces on the outside of the Ninja. So there's plenty of space to get all my pieces in there. And certainly it could go in the middle as well. I just want to have it cook evenly while it's browning on all sides. So that's why I put it on the inner sides of it. Trying not to make a mess with all my flour everywhere too, because nobody wants to clean up a floury mess. I do have my gloves on because, you know, I don't like to touch meat. It's just not for me. My life is not set up that way yet. I'm not that mature, as I would like to say. So, but you can use tongs if you want to not get flour all over your hands and touching everything. I did see her using tongs in the recipe that I saw the video of. Got that in there, and this is the last piece, guys. So this is like 2.5 pounds, and I use bottom round roast. I couldn't find the chuck roast, and I know I had seen it in the store the other day, but I went to a different one to see if they had it. They didn't have it either, so could be because everybody's in the mood for some pot roast, which is fine. I know that the video said to not use top round because it might not come out the same way. Move these around so get an even little cooking and they're not touching too much. All right, so it smells good already. So I'm gonna put all my seasonings up out of the way, and then I'm gonna get my carrots and potatoes and onions all cut up, because it won't take long to get the meat browned on all sides. It's probably like a couple of minutes on each side. And I did learn the technique is when your meat lifts from the pan or the pot, whichever you're using, you know that it is cooked pretty much. So if it doesn't lift, if you're having a hard time lifting it, then that probably means that it's not ready. And I try not to get flour all over everything, and I did. So, part of life. It's part of life. So, I have my carrots and my potatoes. I'm going to put them in whole. So, it said do 2 pounds of potatoes. That's a hard judge for me. I don't know if it's a hard judge because I got a 5-pound bag, or if it's because I just really like potatoes. I'm not really sure. So, because I'm omitting the mushrooms that I saw in her video, I'm going to add a little bit of extra of the potatoes because I really like potatoes. Although we're cooking these whole, we're probably not going to eat a whole potato. But 3, 6, 7. So 7 potatoes. There's about 5 of us that are eating, so it won't be too much. Let's see if I can turn these over yet. That piece flipped really nice. It's not sticking. It's flipping really good for me. That's good. Try very, very hard when you're doing this not to touch the inside of your pot because it is hot. It's very, very hot. It looks, that looks really good, guys. So when it's done browning, I'll show you what it looks like for sure. Pull that out like that. So there goes. So, not cutting the potatoes. I'm putting them in whole. I am going to rinse them before I put them in there. So it won't be, I'm trying to get a different bowl. So it won't be diced or sliced, but it will be rinsed. So I do advise you to rinse them before you put them in. The carrots, I'm putting those in whole as well. I'm not cutting them. The only thing that I will be cutting is my onion. And that's going to be a little different. So it's not going to be sliced or diced, but I'm going to cut it into like quarters probably. I'm not a big fan of onions, but I've never had a roast that didn't have onion in it. So if it doesn't have an onion in it, I almost wouldn't consider it to be a roast. So depending on how much you like onions will determine how much of an onion that you put in there. Because we're not eating our onion, or we're not eating too much of the onion, I'm using a small onion today. So let me get my onion here. Got my onion wrapped up in the bag still. Okay, so this is a Vidalia onion. Hopefully I said it properly. A Vidalia onion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. This way. And then I'll cut it in half. No, you know what? I want to cut this side off here. Try not to dice my fingers off. I'm just going to take the outside layer off. Well, really, it's just the peeling that I'm taking off. But if you take another layer, you know, you just have that much less onion, but it won't harm anything. So I'll cut that in half that way, and I'll cut it in half this way so you guys can see it. These are my quarters. So 4 quarters, so it'll be about 8 of them for my pot roast. I'm just going to move these over here, and I'm going to check my beef too, because I don't want to burn it. I just want to brown it. Hello, hello, little one. Hello, little guy. Not too much chaos today, guys. It's really quiet. And it could be because they're in the play realm. Trying to make sure I get all the sides brown. I probably should have had a pattern made up in my mind of how I was going to flip them. Uh-oh. Watch out, Bubba's. Okay, you're okay. Yeah, I said not too much chaos today, but then I got my little buddy here, and he is eyes on what we're doing. So hopefully he just stays there and not wants to come up, because we got a lot going on today. So, got that over there, and I'm going to do this side of the onion as well into quarters. And this looks good. I'll just put this in my bowl so it's out of the way. Well, not too far out of the way, because I still got to put it inside. So, got that going. Got my mess balled into one bag. That's an accomplishment today, because sometimes I forget. And I'm just going to leave that here just in case. So, we're just going to let our meat brown on all sides. Then we'll take it out, and then we will deglaze the pot. So that's what we're going to use the broth and the wine for, to deglaze it. Stir it all together. Then we'll put our meat back in and pile it all together. So just bear with us, guys. Okay, I'm back, guys. So, my meat has been browned on all sides. I'm just going to take it out so that we can deglaze the pan. And I'll let you guys see what it looks like. It looks really good. It smells good. It's still so hot, so be very, very careful in doing this step. Guess it would help if I open my tongs all the way. I'm just going to set this down so I don't make no accidents about my business here. So, this is beautiful. So, I like to scrape my pan. Make sure you're using safe utensils in your Ninja. So, silicone, plastic, no metal things for your Ninja. It's not good for it. But I like to scrape the bottom a little bit, so that helps when I pour in all my other stuff. It doesn't take much. It is like a non-stick pan, so I just kind of do that a little bit. And I'm going to pour in my red wine first. So I got a cup of my red wine already measured out. And I'll pour that in. Be careful of the steam. So, sizzle, sizzle. So that is in, as this cooks, it's going to burn off the alcohol too. So don't worry, it's safe for everybody in the house to enjoy. Kind of give this a little stir around before I put in the beef broth. Okay. And then I'm going to let that simmer just a little bit. And I was going back and forth, like, do I put in the onion seasoning pack? Do I not? I'm used to doing it that way. I don't know. Should I not? The recipe didn't call for it. And my meat is kind of seasoned, but I think I'm still going to add in that onion seasoning pack. So just 1 second for that. Okay. That was like a spontaneous add-on moment, so I'm glad I did it. We'll see how it turns out. So I got my secret recipe onion. Of course, I need I need scissors. Oh, I'm like, where are all the scissors when you need one? You know, I got like 5 pairs. Can't find one. So I'm gonna add this in once I put the beef broth in, and then give it a stir. So this is boiling, and I'm ready to add in my beef broth. Get this to a boil, and then I will add in my meat, and we'll put it up to pressure. So the benefit of having this hot before you put it up to pressure is that it will come up to pressure quicker. If your Ninja's not on and it's not warm, then it might take a little bit longer. And always remember that when it's coming up to pressure is part of the cooking time. So factor that in. Although we're going under pressure for 30 minutes and we're naturally releasing it, so you don't release it manually, naturally releasing it for 5 minutes, it's all factored into the cooking time. So just gonna give this another little stir. Looks good. You can see that red wine, that's for sure. And it has a really good aroma. So I'm gonna add in my onion seasoning pack. And you could do this like if you want to mix it with the beef broth and then pour it in. I think originally that was my thought process, but then I was kind of, am I going to use it? Am I not going to use it? So I decided to use it. I'm used to using it when I cook it in the oven or in the crock pot. So I think it'll add to the flavor. And this is looking really, really nice. Really nice and brownish. So here's the thing about the liquid. We're going to use the leftover liquid for our gravy. We're going to try to make gravy out of it. I'm kind of going back and forth about that because I'm not the best at making gravy, but it was part of the process, so we'll try it. We'll see how it goes. Have a backup source just in case. I want to show you guys this meat. It looks so delicious already. And it didn't take much to get it there either. So I have my carrots. I peeled them. Now they will not fit. Oh, you know what? They will fit in their hole. I was gonna say if they don't fit in your Ninja hole, and I have an 8-quart Ninja. So if you have a 6-quart or 6.5-quart, I think is the other size, then you might have to cut them in half. But you want to not dice them or not chunk them. You just kind of want to keep them whole. And I tried to use the thicker ones out of the pack just so that they don't overcook. And we'll see how that works out for me because I know towards the end here it kind of got a little skinny, but we'll see. These were the thickest ones that I could find. And if you're really concerned about them overcooking, you can put them closer to the top. Like if you layer potatoes and then carrots and then more potatoes, it'll kind of guard them a little bit while they're under pressure. So this is bubbling, boiling, and that is great. That means we are almost ready to add in all our ingredients and put it under pressure. Okay, so my red wine, I have to remember which kind of wine it is because I'm not used to using red wine or drinking it. So my red wine and my beef broth is boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add my meat back in. I know one of the biggest concerns is making the meat dry, but I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be dried out. When it goes under pressure, it's going to help seal in some of that. And naturally releasing the pressure, not doing it too quickly, is going to help with sealing that pressure inside, sealing that moisture inside of the meat, as well as not making a mess when you release the pressure. So you get an added bonus there. So I got my meat inside of here. This is not too much of a meat, so I'm going to try to move them closer to the inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my onions in there, try to layer it on top. But of course, they're falling down a little bit. If you decide not to cut your roast into pieces, like into 4-inch pieces, you just have to increase the time that you put it under pressure. Because the more having them cut up is what allows us to do it at 30 minutes. But if you keep it whole and the weight is more than 3 pounds, I would say do your under pressure about 90 minutes. 90 to 120 minutes would be pretty good for it. So, uh-oh. The chaos is erupting. Alright, so I'm going to put my carrots in here. Hopefully they all fit down nice and neat. Oh, they do. Oh, wait. This one's acting a little nutty. Okay, there it goes. And you can push it down. Now, critical thinking skills, people. That one clearly is not going to go in there. It's clearly not. And that one's acting like a teenager as well. All three of these are acting like a teenager. So I missed my critical thinking skills on that part. So I'm just going to cut these in half. And then I'll layer them in here. I probably should have put potatoes between those ends because they were a little thinner. So let me see if I can spread it over here a little bit. Trying to be very, very cautious not to touch the inside and be careful because that is hot. Hot, hot, hot. All right, got my carrots in, got my meat in. Ready to put our potatoes. I know it looks strange putting a whole potato in the pot, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. You can do it. They're going to come out delicious. And your family is going to love you for it. I think I'm going to put one more potato because I have space for it. The chaos is erupting. It's erupting all over. Oh. And it's the middle one. So if anybody has a middle child, you can imagine what I'm experiencing right now. Okay. I'm going to rinse this potato. I'm going to add it to the family here. I'm going to go ahead and stop my sear saute. And then I'm going to bring you guys over so you can see. Uh-oh. The chaos has come closer to us. All right. So we're going to look inside here. You can see our different layers. We got the potatoes, got the carrots deep down in there. We got our meat and our onions. So while we're here, the sear saute is off. We're going to go ahead and change our settings to pressure high. I'm going to go ahead and put my pressure lid on. Make sure that it is set to seal at the top. I'm going to change my time to be 30 minutes. I know, 30 minutes for a roast. I'm trying to convince myself that this is normal too. Well, it definitely is normal with a Ninja. So press start, make sure that it starts. And these little things, that just shows that it's coming up to pressure. Once it comes up to pressure, it's going to cook for our 30 minutes. And then we're going to do a natural release for 5 minutes. And then we'll wait for that pressure valve to fall. Are you okay? What happened? What happened? She won't tell me. It'll take a minute. She'll tell me in a second and then we'll all be back to normal. So let's just wait for this to come up to pressure. Cook. It's going to be amazing and I can't wait to show you guys the end product. Okay, we are back. End of the 30 minutes. Did a 5-minute natural release and then we quickly released it. So our time, it just dropped. So the pressure, that means the pressure is released from it. And it was about 12 minutes for that. So let's just open it up. I got my taste tester all set and ready. We will see what it tastes like. I tell you, it smells really good. That is for sure. I always dump my water into the sink. And then I take my pressure lid and just hang it in the pressure lid holder. So before we scoop all the goodies from the bottom, I'm going to try to get the carrots and potatoes out without making too much of a mess. I just put this in there, but I realized I need it to get my carrots out and potatoes. What are you doing? Honey, what are you about? I'm going to put this potato here. And actually, if each person had one potato and kind of mashed it, that's like a perfect serving size. Oh, yes. Carrot is like juicy, juicy goodness. Stop touching stuff. And we got our onions kind of floated to the top here. Try to put some of those on there. You know what? I think I'm going to Let me see if I can get some of our items out before. You don't want to scoop your meat out too quickly because then it'll change temperatures quickly, and that will create your meat to kind of dry out. So try to get all the vegetables out first and then take the meat out. The chaos. All my flour is all over the place because of the warmer.
Stop.
So it's going to be a little challenging. Well, it won't be challenging. I just have to get some different
No
flour
touch. No.
to make the gravy. So I'm just going to scoop our potatoes out because they're on top here. And then I'll get our carrots out. Oh, the meat is already kind of like missing to the top. So let me get some. I'm trying to get some meat out here. I'll finish this process first. And then we'll get some meat out. So I don't want it to cool down too quickly. But it looks good, smells good. Got a lot of potatoes. I tell you, I like potatoes, so that's why I have so many in here. You can do your desired amount. You don't have to do the exact amount that I did.
No. Bruh.
Okay. So I'm scooping the potatoes and the carrots.
Okay, do that. Yeah. Clean it up.
So I did find some meat. It came to the top. So I'm just gonna plate that for our taste tester.
Yeah, clean up.
When I get all the rest of the ingredients out.
Clean up.
And that'll cool down enough for her to taste it and tell us what she thinks. And I think she's gonna like it. I think I'm gonna like it too. Okay. So we pretty much got our potatoes and our carrots out. If you want your carrots to be a little firmer, because these ones are kind of falling apart, and that's anticipated. That's what I like. But if you want your carrots to be a little firmer, then I would say decrease your cook time to about 20 minutes, and then naturally release it for 5, and then quick release the end of it. So let's see how this is here. The potato is really nice because it's whole, but you can still cut through it with a fork, and that's like a good sign. Because, oh my gosh, it's like butter. Okay, I'm getting excited. I'm not even the taste tester for this delicious meal. So our pot roast, we want to be able to just kind of like fork through it. And it looks like it's doing that for me. I mean, I'm not needing a knife for it, and it's kind of already shredding. So, sorry, this isn't my plate, but it looks so delicious. Okay, so I got my taste tester here. Really excited to try this on my own too. So, she's gonna try the potatoes, carrots, pot roast, and tell us what she thinks. So, ooh, it's hot. It's hot. You wanna put it down here? Make sure you blow it. This is my oldest, but she's my baby, so I have to tell her, make sure you blow it. Make sure you blow it. Okay, let's turn it on. See what she likes here. Did you blow? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stop. Okay.
Get a better view here. Good? Mm-hmm. All right.
This is like our second time having this. Well, for me.
First time in the Ninja, but yeah. No, you've had pot roast probably about 4, 5 times. Something. I don't know, you had a lot when you were a kid.
Like sweet potatoes, but not like that. But they're soft. I like it.
It's a carrot.
I know,
but it's soft like a sweet potato would be, is what you're saying.
It reminds me of one.
Because of how soft it is.
Yeah.
Not the flavor, because a carrot should not taste like a sweet potato.
It kind of, okay.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we are just so excited to present this meal to you. I'm getting ready to eat because I'm super excited to try it for myself. I might just kind of like pick a little bit here. Delicious. All right, enjoy, guys.